Today we have Aneri with us to get her portfolio reviewed from Yagnesh and Sonam. So I'll tell the whole process. Aneri, you'll get 10 minutes to actually walk through your whole portfolio and along with that, a project that you really want feedback on. And the remaining 15 minutes, Yagnesh and Sonam will share their feedback and review on the whole portfolio. So yeah, Aneri, over to you. Firstly, you can introduce yourself and then we can get started with it.
Okay. Hi. Thank you, Yash. I'm Aneri from Ahmedabad. I am a final year student at CEPT University. I've recently joined Paperclip as a design intern, and I wanted to get my portfolio reviewed from Yagnesh and Sonam. So, starting with it, didn't want a format that is very common. Most of my peers, they have portfolio on PDFs and they have it on Behance. Previous goal was to get into US universities for masters. So few of my seniors had recommended me to have portfolio website for it. So I went ahead with it. I took help of my friends from CS and we used AI and we have created this entire website. It is still work in progress, but I would like to show it to you guys and see how I can improve it and make it better. So I have tried to add here like all the projects that I thought were in depth. Like we have except we have a system where you have main studio projects and then you have mandate ke very short projects. So what I have done is because those are not very long projects, I haven't showcased them here because those are not end to end and those are very basic or conceptual, not to work with the entire prototype and making it work, but just working out the concept of it. So here I have added my projects that involved service design ka basics, systems design. Then I was into physical product design. I had like that was my bachelor's degree. So I have included 3 projects from that. And this was just a fun project. I did stop motion animation. I took it as an elective. So it was very fun and I loved working on it. So I've added it. And here were the important recognitions that I felt to add up in my portfolio. So first one was a device called Technician. I got it IP registered from CEPT itself because that was a studio project. Then for the service design project that involved making CEPT a zero waste campus, that was a group project. So our entire initiative was covered in the local newspapers. And the last one was that I had recently done the PADI certification course to explore the marine ecology, but the time wasn't enough. So we couldn't get into the marine ecology designing and everything, but we are just, it's like one step, taking one step to delve into it. So that is where I've started it. And here is my experience where recently last semester, I was a teaching assistant for a course called Data and Design. I have written a research paper last semester with the same faculty that I was TAing for. And I've done event management and I have worked on wedding boards and everything. And I was also working at a marketing firm as a freelance graphic designer earlier when I started with my university degree. And these are just the skills, tools, and I have separated it in the interest I have, the soft skills, the tools I am good at, and the designing skills I have. And this is just about me that I love working, I love connecting people and bringing ideas to life and work for a purpose, not just making things aesthetic, but also it should work functionally and serve a purpose. That is what I look for. And this is just a photo gallery of the things I like and I have explored so far. Yeah, that's it.
It looks good in the photo. You mentioned you use AI to create the website.
Yes. So we use ChatGPT. We told it that we want a few cards and we want to have other pages to, when we open it, we also want other pages which showcases the entire project, capture its process. So we just give it a brief and it had its the entire code ready. So we just had to make tweaks. We had to add up cards. We had to add into these stacks and we referred to few of the design tutorials and made tweaks to the codes. We didn't even have to code for it. We just asked AI to do it. And we have used HTML, JavaScript, and CSS for the entire process to make the tweaks. Entirely, it was done by ChatGPT.
When you say we, like, was it a team
Yes.
work on this?
So, yes. I didn't know much about coding since my background is from designing. So I took help of two friends who are into computer science, and they helped me do this. Like I gave them the requirements. I told them कि ये मुझे ऐसा चाहिए, I want this spacing, and I just basically helped them gain what I wanted to see on my screen, and they helped me code, like to make tweaks to the code.
Okay. Oh. Why do you have this portfolio?
Since I was looking for internships, it was very difficult to just talk about what I do and take it, because people might also want to see what I have achieved so far or what are my skill set and how I have delivered it. So to showcase my work to the people to get jobs and to get good internships. And it is good to have the documentation of what you have done so far. Like most of the universities, they don't encourage having, like they ask for it, but at our university, it is a compulsion. If you don't post your portfolio at the end of the semester, you will not pass that semester. So I already had the documentation of each project after each semester. So it was very easy to compile it into this format.
And you use the same portfolio for internships, for jobs, and even to show it to others?
Yes.
Okay. The tabs on the top, they will take you to a specific section of the page, I believe.
Yes.
Okay, cool. Can you go to the hero section? To the first landing. Okay. I want to understand, like, why do you have to say, hi, I'm Aneri? Because anybody who is landing over here, that person would know your name. Then what's the reason for putting up that? Like, I just want to understand your thought process.
There was no like any such purposeful thought process behind it. We just took reference of few of the portfolios that were already existing. And earlier, like we were not able to deploy it to a personalized website name. So after we did this, we haven't changed this. So it was just like a design portfolio. So then we changed the website's name to Aneri's portfolio, like that. So now we can change it. But overall, the idea was to have it. I didn't just want to keep it to, okay, I didn't just want to have it limited to the portfolio, but also later in the future, if I add up more works or if I have my own thing, I also wanted to add that here. But I understand that this is taking a lot of space of the landing page. And yeah, but there was no like any purposeful that definite choice to put it here.
Because there are 4 places where your name is appearing, and this becomes redundant after a couple of times. Like the one, the page title, then the website URL, then the top left logo that you have, which is the word mark. And this way I'm Aneri Thakkar. So think about it. And also like, okay, you are Aneri Thakkar. So what? Like, what should I do with it? Are you getting me?
Yeah.
So that's one observation that I have. Also, like, why have you separated this product designer or researcher passionate about creating seamless experience? Aren't you both?
I just wanted to have an animation that switches between both. And it is both, but it's just appearing in a way that it is coming like there's a time and then after that it is coming like it, just to add that animation effect.
Okay. So every designer is passionate about creating seamless experiences. So what's special with you?
I don't know. They might not think of it in depth.
No. So that is what you are saying. It is not there on the website.
Okay.
This is just like another designer in the herd. Okay, you are Aneri Thakkar. I read it 4 times. You are a researcher. You are a product designer. You who's passionate about creating seamless experience. And this is like the 100th portfolio that says the same thing.
Okay.
Yeah. So you have pointed out very correctly that the way you think, what you are, that separates you. But then what have you produced with your thinking? Being a researcher or being a product designer, what have you created that is seamlessly delivered the experience that you wanted to, and have actually, you are mentioning that connects people and ideas through thoughtful innovation, right?
Yeah.
I think you already have a good amount of work, right, to talk about. And at this point in your career, most of the people, they would use similar kind of lines, but they may not have similar kind of work that, that is, this is something that I have observed, that you have that kadam, and then I think that pinboard thingy. I think there was one more also, which was there in the news or something, the trash pot thingy. You have these things where, you can present them. Think about it, where, you have these three projects, which are kind of, one, they are like aesthetically good. Second, you have some credibility there already. One, which is a newspaper article. Then there is a IP that you have already done for it, for the, what is this? Right. For the pin holder thingy, right?
Yes.
Pin holder. Yes. And there is one more. So there are total, you already have three things, which you are showing it after, half the page of the scroll. And you are, not not capturing the attention in the first 30 seconds or the first 10 seconds, which is like just the usual. Do you remember the lines that you have written? I am a researcher, passionate about, then what is it? Can you complete it? Don't scroll on the top.
I am a researcher and a product designer, passionate about connecting people and ideas to have seamless innovation, something like that.
Go read it again. So if you can't remember it, why would you expect others to remember it?
Right.
And it's already complex, the two lines. Rather than writing it down, why don't you show? Like, see, this is what, I have done, and this is what I'm capable of. Let's say if I have designed a car, I'll just put the photo of that and say I have designed it. Would say more versus I try to write, hi, I'm Aneri Thakkar. I'm passionate about designing cars, and I usually do this and that and all of this thing, like, in writing.
Right.
Which one would work more?
Visually showing it.
Yeah. So because you are also showing the result over there, the output also there. You can also talk about the outcome as well, if you wish to, right? Where you say that you are passionate about creating seamless experiences because, you like to connect people, and you also like ideate you ideate thoughtfully, and you innovate also through that. How do you prove that? So probably try to prove these points, showing the work that you have done. That will work very well for the crowd that you are into, because you would be mostly at the moment in the freshers crowd. And most of the freshers, they do not have any kind of work that they can show. They are still working on it, or they are still like, figuring it out, or they have like college projects and all. You also have like projects and all, but there are few things that I have observed that, that surfaces on the top, which is going to be a very good hook or the anchor points that you can create. So the first is the projects that you have worked on. Second, being like, being almost a fresher at the moment, you should also mention about the teaching assistants wala job that you had, because then it shows that you are accountable for your knowledge, and you are serious about it, and you are okay to talk, like, teach also, like at whatever level at the moment as a teaching assistant. So you should mention something like that. So try to find a way where you can, probably in the first fold hero section, you are able to communicate the projects that you have worked, some of these projects which are the featured ones, and also the teaching assistant side of it. Okay. You don't have to separate yourself as a researcher and a product designer. Product designer also researches.
Okay.
So if you want to call yourself a product designer, then just mention product design. But have the entire narrative more towards the researcher side of it, so that you are able to find relevant job roles. And, people also know that you don't do UI, you are actually into research and all. Also, this hover over everything, please, so you don't miss anything. This is a people pleasing behavior. Remove that. Like,
It is like I cannot remove it. It comes with the Netlify that is in the fixed. It comes over there. We cannot remove it.
okay, that's weird, but see if you can remove it. Otherwise,
No, it's very useful. I'll tell you why. Aneri, I'm also looking at on your phone. Phone पे कैसे hover करेगा? So you can't like unless you have a stylus, you won't be able to hover on the phone or an iPad. So then it's restricting to certain devices. So if you're positioning yourself as somebody who is knowledgeable and knows about all of this, then this contradicts that way. If somebody thinks about it in that direction.
Yes.
what is this? Find me.
It is just the
Oh, it's a link trick. Okay.
yeah.
No, okay. But why it is there? Do you wish to keep it?
Not really, but I didn't have many things to put on the home page, so I have just ended. It was actually a bento page. I don't know why it is showing to the link tree thing. It was a bento page of my Behance and Instagram and all the social media accounts.
Yeah.
But
I think it's right over there. Or probably in Linktree, put it over there so that it will take people to that thing.
yeah.
Or find your domain, purchase it, and download the code. Also pay for whatever this Netlify would ask for, I don't know. But try to, get into the custom thingy. It is a good investment to have. I also had my website. I had made like 4 folds only of 4 different colors with like text over there and then few links over there. It worked very well. It helped me where I wanted to reach. And then, I never looked at it again. And I don't know if it is still there or not. But it makes a lot of sense to have your own domain, have the customizations and remove things. Because see, you are a designer. You are not a writer or you are not somebody else, but you are a designer. Now, when a designer is presenting a design and when, then you won't get a chance to, give an excuse that, oh, I have this thing, but, something happened. Then it looks bad in terms of that you really don't care about your brand
Right.
or the experience that you are creating. And right now, through this website or through this page, you are creating an experience for others. So you really need to understand, where would they be opening this? Most of the time they would open it, either on mobile, they would open it. If it is a big company, then they would open it in a laptop or a desktop. Right? So to consider where are you going to work, what kind of companies that you are applying at, or who is going to look at it. Give more preference to either of the devices. You can give first preference to, let's say, to mobile, right? And then the second preference to desktop, tablet, or laptops. Also consider that how can you communicate almost, the most important aspect, not almost, but the most important aspects of your work or yourself in less than 30 seconds.
Okay.
In that narrative, you are able to communicate, probably in like, let's say 10, 15 seconds works the best. That's the ideal thingy, but 20 to 30 seconds, that is also okay because you are not the only one who would be applying, right? There are so many people already applying. So you just want to make it as relevant as possible. One more thing, in terms of the keywords that you would use, try to use some of the keywords which are technical jargons, which researchers uses, because as the day passes, a lot of AI tools are going to be reading your website and people will be looking at the website. So AI will read the website. People won't look at the website. People will look
Ask
at
AI to
the
some
interpretation of what AI has to say. So give a link to, let's say, ChatGPT or other tools and see what it has to say to audit. But just ask it to look at it from AI, AEO or AIEO. I don't know. There's
SEO and AEO.
yeah. So there's something which is, which you can just see whether it is compatible to that SEO thingy or no. Because there's going to be like, there are already tools where I can just go and search that I'm looking for a product designer or I'm looking for a researcher. So in the experience, give me a list of these people, blah, 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 blah. So it is better to consider and be ready for such tools as well. Okay. And that is going to take major market share and would become like primary approach rather than going through the website. Because if I'm receiving 100 applications, why would I go open your website?
Yeah.
Right? If the entire task of like, reviewing all the 100 applications could be done in like, let's say 10 hours or in one day where I don't have to get occupied, I would, give it to the AI tool. And from that filtered out applications, I will then like, look at whatever the 50 or the 40. And even in that, imagine like going through out of 100, filtered 30, and out of 30, you won't be going to like each and every portfolio, website, resume, their application,
Mm.
right? So you should be portraying yourself proudly and, assertively, saying that like you have done this work, there is a credibility that you have, and you have the potential to become an expert. You may not be the expert right now because, you haven't got a chance to work. So the way you create your narrative, that is what any of the AI tools is going to present it. Getting me?
Yes.
So what you write over here, how you present yourself over here, that is exactly how the AI is going to be presenting yourself. So we want to be ready for that as well.
Yes.
There are a couple of approaches that you can try. We'll talk about it later on, but I'll have Sonam share her points as well.
Aneri, I'll just share my screen. I'm going to talk more about the usability and some key things that are fundamentally can be, modified. So there is something I observed that if you can see my screen. Yeah.
Yes.
See, your button style is this. I'm talking a lot from interaction design perspectives.
Mm.
Style is this, but so are your tabs, this pins. So your card overall, when you click on it, or you go to the page. But because the design of the pins and the buttons the same, there is a common instinct that maybe these are clickable. So because I tried clicking on them, because I thought maybe it's categorized in that way.
Yeah.
So that differentiation also, when you talk about accessibility design, see this when you hover on it, this color becomes white, but that's not the same case with this. Although the same color is being used. So some things now need to be differentiated. Probably your color palette or something needs to accommodate these kind of use cases.
Mm.
And intuitively, people know what is clickable and what is just information. So like this one, we know this is information for sure. But because this is kind of similar in terms of color, although this is bold and this is some other typography, there is some difference, but it's very less in that sense. So wanted to point out the accessibility. I did a contrast check. So you can check this for WCAG guidelines and everything, and you'll be able to see that it is highlighting a few things which are related to hierarchy and the entire contrast checking. So it's good to, check all of these things once you're done. Because this one also has hover states, but they're not going anywhere.
Mm.
Small little things like this, like even these are hovering, but you're not clicking on it. And likewise, these are not hovering, but I thought they could be because they have a button. Then I realized it's the card actually. So a lot of mixed signals in this, and it's natural because this is something that it's auto generated. So these are the things that we need to check once we give everything to AI to build. Also, these are things that we need to check. What are the things that we need to alter. Same thing with this. Like, see, this is giving a hover effect. Your images, but it's not doing anything. Like, it's not expanding that I'm going to see the image clearly, nor does it open up. So there is really no point of it. It's just like, okay, I'm hovering on it. So that's it. So a little thinking on all of these things. I'm really fine tuning it with the feedbacks over here. But it's just when you're interacting with this now, it feels like this. And because of these hover states, your experience on the phone and desktop is going to be different, which is fine if you're intending it to be like that.
So right now I haven't focused on the mobile version of it, but and also with the hover on these images on the gallery, I wanted them to click on it and the caption of it would appear. That was the whole idea. That was why the hovering thing was done. But then the caption thingy is still left.
Cool. Cool. Yeah, and also like Yagnesh mentioned, like a lot of copy is like a thoughtful copy that needs to be everywhere. You need to check your links also, because these links, at least the contact link is not really working. Rest of the thing, no. But yeah, double check before you send in all of this. But yeah, mainly contrast checking, CG guidelines, your copy, all of it. It's a single pager, gives a perspective of everything. Also, academic writing, you know what academic writing is, but people may not know what that is. Using probably terminologies that people know, or if they don't, then some context to it. That what is it exactly?
Okay.
Yeah, same thing over here. See, when something is intended, there is a reaction, right? Right now that I'm hovering on it, then there needs to be intent of it. Is it like, do I click on this and something happens, or why is it behaving this way? Needs to be a solid reasoning for all of this. Yeah. Overall, I think Jagdish has covered a lot of points from the presentation perspective, storytelling, how you want to portray. He mentioned 10, 15 seconds is there, and first few seconds are going to be even more crucial, that people don't drop off and they are actually interested, and you can communicate everything. And a lot is possible within one screen, like just to get them properly engaged in the first screen itself, so that and convey clearly what you do.
So I wanted to ask, when Ganesh mentioned about showing the output first before just mentioning about it, since I also have work about it. So I have worked on it. So will it not be very much information loaded, or is it just one project that I should select and put it there that describes the best, or can it be multiple things there on the landing page?
If I give you 10 seconds to talk about the work that you have done and say the best that you can, what would you speak? You have 10 seconds. 1, 3, 4, 5, 6. So give yourself a challenge first, that, okay, I have 15 seconds or 20 seconds. Start with 30 seconds. Then try to shrink it. Shrink it to the where you feel this is good point now. And then within 20 seconds, start with 60 seconds first. Okay.
Yeah.
And in that, you just talk. Okay. Try to record a video also. And then once you're done, go through the video. See what you can remove to make it 30 seconds. Okay. Or probably 10 seconds lesser, then 10. So by 10 seconds, you can start reducing it. Then wherever you reach, and then see what you're talking about and try to communicate the same through words, visuals. When I say visuals, it could be visuals of the project, photographs, anything that is visual, anything that a photo can speak instead of the words, and what photo cannot speak, you can use the words over there. And that narrative needs to be within, let's say, 30 to 40 seconds, not more than that. So I'm not talking about the entire website, just the first fold, because that will create the interest. And then when the interest is created, people would be able to spend a little bit more time. This is very similar to if you are passing through a shop and then that shopkeeper would always try to catch your attention in 5 seconds by saying whatever they would have, try to sell it. You would be like, this sounds interesting. Let me go inside the shop. You may end up spending an hour over there.
The display system.
Right. So this is more around not marketing, but selling things that you really want to sell, or that you really want to work into. Right. And one thing that you need to make sure that it doesn't need to please everyone. You don't need to show it in your home to the people who are not designers. Let's not use the old methodology that you should always ask your grandmother or mother to use the product that you are designing. That's all. That doesn't make any sense. It needs to work only for the relevant target audience that you would have. And you probably try to find somebody in the market, or try to apply at Google and put that as a benchmark. Okay. For example, I'm just giving you an example. It could be any company, but try to have a benchmark and see and do a load testing of your website. And when you do the load testing, you would know what is working, what is not working. If they are rejecting, try to apply it at a very small company who would desperately hire you. But then also try to understand the perspective that they are looking at your website, and try to understand the same perspective. I mean, same thing from the perspective for other companies that are there, which are bigger one, Google, Microsoft, or any of these companies, which are at two extremes. And that will get you that is more user testing that you will do, right? And as a researcher, you would know what data to capture. You can also use that as a case study and put it up on your website. But yeah, I think that is one of the thing, because you have done a lot of product design and service design also. I think I wanted to hold this thought till you show the project, but I feel that you can also have a video of these things, because these are using the physical spaces, physical things that are tangible that you can hold and all. So probably try to use video as a format where you can actually show rather than the 3D images, because now nobody's looking to hire just a designer. People are actually looking to hire somebody who can lead design. Somebody who can lead design should know how to present also what they have worked on or what they are trying to say, their thought processes. And it is one of the most vital skills to have. How you communicate, how you present the work that you have done, or what anything that you want to talk about or ask. So probably walk people through that. You can, one more thing before I forget, for any of these projects, wherever you have got the recognition, you can just put some stamp or something over there, probably a trophy emoji or that emblem sort of a thing, something that can communicate, oh, this is featured, or very something which is very special. And you can repeat the same while you are showing the details of the project or wherever it is appearing, so that the more you hammer about it, you will have an opportunity to keep their perspective into the line that you wish to keep it. So the more you hammer whatever it is, the more they will remember about it. We remember that somebody who had projects that were featured, and not just one, but there were two or three. You know? Use the hammering technique for that.
Also the association, because see, the Kadam also was featured in the newspaper, and then the tactician has a IP rights holding thing. So this gets missed, because when you go down in the recognition, it's more often than not, it's going to be not noticed that this is that you have mentioned the project on the top. So the mind mapping concept that comes, that this is associated with this. So while you can have this as a separate thing also, it's necessary that you associate both of them also on the same thing. So yeah, so having that over here will really reinforce and actually make that project clickable. Because right now they're all of the same, they have the same importance. But if there's an achievement that is in one of them, that thing will be clicked first, and that's how you can draw attention that watch this and amongst everything.
Right.
It improves your credibility. Those are your call to actions then.
Yeah.
Will it not then have too many tags to look at one card? Suppose here I have put tags into which design domain it fits, and then you'll also have the recognitions here. So will it not have too many things to look at when you want to choose a project to see?
That is your work.
Okay.
Yeah, you need to figure out what information is what you want to. That's why primary, secondary, tertiary. Primary information, secondary information, tertiary information. Everything needs to be divided in that way so that you can make these decisions. When there is a blur or unclarity, then you end up putting everything, and that's when the whole clutter happens.
Right.
Okay. You want to show us the project?
Yes.
Okay.
So
You have any questions over here right now on this page?
not on this page. Overall, I have written down the questions I have. We can have that later or before we start with the projects. Anything else?
Nice.
Yes.
Okay.
You should also mention over here is what you want to do. As in, yeah, these are your skills. but what are your aspirations? What kind of projects you want to do? What excites you? Because that deeply resonates with somebody. If they're trying to do something similar, then you already have a bond. You're giving some information that resonates with them, that yeah, we're looking for somebody this and this person wants to do something else. This does not come out often till there is a interview, and if they're really looking for somebody, somebody really doesn't dig these questions out, it won't be answered. So yeah.
So right now, when we had applied to too many places and we were just looking at the things that we know, we just wanted to have that opportunity very desperately. We were told ki kuch bhi opportunity mile, you just grab it. Don't think abhi if you get so much or not. You just go into it, try it out, and then see. So even when we were mailing, few of the people, they just had send out common emails to every firm. But then I didn't follow that same method. I had customized emails for customized cover letters for each of the firm, and then I had applied, and it has also set me apart. But then we were told ki keep it open abhi ke liye, since the market is not so good and it will define कि तुम्हें यही पसंद है, तो it will make a confusion कि आपको even if you are interested to do other things or not. So even if I was not into digital product design that much. So people have asked me, okay, do you also want to do that, since you have not done it so far and you have not mentioned your interest towards it? But yeah, now gradually when I move ahead in my career, I can add that up in the portfolio.
That will happen, but you
Yeah.
have to make the choice at the end of the day.
Yeah.
Okay. Let's check out the project.
Yes. I have talked a lot about this Katam project with Paddy and Adya, and even Muskan wanted to know, so I have walked them through. But I don't want much feedback on it because this is very similar to what we are doing. It is on service design. I'll just quickly walk through of this project. So here our problem was to manage the waste at SEP University and try to make the campus a zero waste campus. So we already got a lot of help. There was a whole team set up on the campus to do this. So they had already done this kind of research कि कहाँ से कितना waste generate होता है and everything. So we didn't have to do much of dealing with the actual waste. So we started with data collection that was missing, following the waste trail throughout the campus, and then we put those things in the framework where it made more sense for us. So we took the initial research from them and we put it out in our frameworks where we thought it would help us a lot. Then we did surveys, we made discussion guides, we took people's actual interviews, and then we brainstormed and we made sacrificial concepts and everything. So our problem statement was to narrow down, was to change people's habits. Most of the people, we understood from the interviews that they had sense ki this is something wrong, this is something that needs to be done, but there was this behavioral shift that was missing in the entire campus. At the campus, the audience is very niche. We have students who are all very well educated and who have a certain sense of things. So there were people who were aware, and most of the people at the campus were that who are aware but were still not practicing it. So, and the key stakeholders that we found out to around these problems were the management people, the cleaners, the canteen vendors, and the students, because most of the waste was generated from the canteen. And we already had too many ideas to conduct at the campus, but then management was somehow not supporting because they had their own reasons. So we wanted to understand things from their perspective as well. So we took around 20 interviews and we had takeaways from all the stakeholders, and most of the common insights that we found were that people unknowingly they choose convenience over what is sustainable or what is correct convenience over what is correct. So people would take their food to the classrooms and they'll drop, so it will create more waste, and they'll put sheets down because the dustbin was too far and things that then people didn't feel the ownership towards the campus. It is not our duty. People are being paid to do stuff that. Then people thought that even if we dispose the waste correctly, at the end AMC जब लेने आ रहा है वो सब तो एक साथ they are mixing up all the kind of waste. So why should we do it? How is it going to make a larger difference even if we segregate waste at first. So those were the major concerns, and it was very confusing. We know what is green dustbin for and what is blue dustbin for, but the visual design, the typography is not very clear here, and it is very confusing because few times they put green dustbin on the blue one, green cover, the green lid on the blue one, and cleaners did stuff these. So these were the issues and insights we found around, and we had how might we for each of the insights. So then we started to brainstorm around it, and then we categorized our brainstorming. This was a quick rapid fire round where we did not think of the feasibility of the idea, and then we just dumped all the ideas. Then we clustered those into what could be the incentives, or how could we create awareness, and how we can plan events around this. So we categorized ideas, and most of them, these were we took these ideas to our stakeholders, and we surveyed what they had to say, and we shortlisted these ideas where we could have portion control at the canteen, because food was getting wasted a lot. At one canteen we had you could take half plate if you want, but other canteens they didn't give that options. So ask for it if you want it. And then there were most of the waste was of the plastic, the paper cups, and people didn't know that it has a plastic layering and it cannot be recycled. So they were, ये तो plastic cup ही है, इसको किधर भी फेंक सकते हैं. So there was this misconception around it. So we had this idea to upcycle those cups, so we can make cup kiosks or something to just collect those cups. Then stationary spots, how we can collect waste. So from all these ideas, the ones we finalized were restation, where we can repurpose the stationery, the stash tub, where we can rent out things. We don't have to necessarily buy out those. So if we had we had to buy the triangular scale and the parallel bar, everything in the first year, and then it made no sense after the foundation year. It is still there lying in the cupboards. So we wanted to make the entire service out of it so that other campuses could adapt to this framework. So what we did was we adapted a trigger, action, reward, and investment framework, wherein trigger had all the visual signals. There was buzz created on the social media, and then we tried out this thing where there were QR fact-based storytelling, where they were, told ki itna kachra you are creating, but then to see their behavioral patterns. One of these QR that said that if you scan, you get money. So that was the one that was scanned the most. So we were seeing how people are responding and what is their behavior. Then our social media page gained a lot of attraction and engagement because we started a movement. I'll quickly scroll through these. These are the things that we did, prototyping and all. We tried sticking visual signs and symbols on the dustbins. That didn't help. Then we made the dustbins transparent. So it was making people accountable. They were very conscious. कि हम die. So they were very conscious. And we had pre-filled dustbins. Thoda nice. So they were very conscious. And after 2 or 3 days, there was no mix of waste by doing this. So we made feasible prototypes for it. Then we made material drop-off zones so that people could take the material that is waste for someone and use it in their own project. And then we gave stationery worth ₹10,000 free to foundation year students. Internship mein ja rahe hai, who are just passing out, they have stuff. So they gave it to us and we distributed it for free to the foundation year students, and they went very crazy. So how to just make this sustainable, and so we could have clubs around it. वो सब किया. Where we made the entire user journey and service blueprint around it. We tracked all the stages. Day 1 to we proposed this as whole entirely a month ka thing to be executed on other campuses. ये हमने बनाया था पूरा. And then this is not to the point, but we just so that we have it and we don't get mocked at the jury, we had added the business model. So we would charge 65,000 from end to end, providing all the materials, all the consultation, all the services for it. So this was just and how we have segregated the pricing for it. And this was a team project. This were my other two teammates. So yeah. So I have put every project I have put documented in details. किया है, क्यों किया है, and at the end there is always this prototype जो काम कर रहा है कि नहीं कर रहा है, and why, if it is working or not. So every project has this similar kind of structure.
How does it look on mobile?
Not great, because each card appears one after the other and you have to scroll a lot, and too many features, they are not working good. So I still need to work on it.
I strongly feel I just have very few feedback, not more for the project thingy. But I feel that you should try video format for the project because there's a lot that you are talking about and you are actually focusing on the service design side of it. Also, you have mentioned about the shaping the behavior,
Yes.
which is also very important aspect of design, which is kind of an impact that you leave or that you create through design. So you should actually create a video for it.
For each of the project.
For yeah, for all the projects. And just how you narrated everything, similar to that, narrate it. Also try to watch yourself when you narrate it. And you would learn like what is missing out. Yeah. Do you remember there was this group of people, or there was this one lady from I think IIT Guwahati or from some product design college. They made a final year project, or uska they had made a video, and that almost went viral mid last year. It was for a copper bottle that they had made. They had designed it, and something that they had, like, it actually worked very well for them. So see if you can try a video format, because in video format you can walk people through a process. You can still have this documentation the way you have it, but the primary source, the primary mode of communicating your work can be in a video format.
Okay.
Also, when you present it, if you are saying that this is more from the circular economy perspective, behavioral changes or service design, whatever these key highlights are, you should talk about that. Then starting just how you would explain it to jury, forget how you explain it to jury, okay, because that is a very different kind of audience. And then when you are outside of the college, when you're not speaking to jury and when you're speaking to either recruiters or business owners or other people who can learn something from you, what you want to establish is not a student who has completed a project. You want to establish yourself that somebody who is having an experience of doing something this and have successfully done it. So you need to treat yourself as a protagonist and present it that way. So, and that is why I'm saying when you do it in the video format, you by default you would become a protagonist. But then when you present it by saying, see, this is the output, see, this is what happened through this. And then I'll show you how we made it happen. Okay. Rather than, oh, see, we did something, this, and this is what we have achieved. Long way to understand that what have you done.
Right.
That's the only feedback I have. Otherwise, it's good. Okay, over to you, Sonam.
I think the internal pages are separately designed by you, right? The projects.
Yes.
They look very different than your landing page. And the internal project has so much more value than the landing page. So if somebody misses out on watching all this, they're actually missing on a lot of things that you have communicated. I feel there's an inconsistency, and if they drop off, it's actually they would have missed out on a really good project just to see.
And I myself wouldn't look into the projects if I have opened to this landing page. I would not go into the details of the things. Yeah.
Even if the point is that you have such a rich case study that you've covered it, and you've covered it really nicely. It's not too monotonous. It's not monotonous at all. It's very interesting to see how the journey is, because you've used different mediums to do the text. There is illustration, there is graphs, and all of them are very nicely done, are very consistent. So you need to put that skill set forefront even in the landing page. Create a style of your own, which remains through similar throughout. So it's one amazing content to work with, I feel. And it's just a matter of presentation and getting it out in the world, I feel. You've tried this, it got you the job. It's done its part, this portfolio. But now go to the next step wherein you do not depend on methods that are already available. This UI, the landing page UI, the website UI is very traditional, but your work is not. Your presentation, the way you've documented your case study is not. So they're two different personalities. So yeah, don't like the next step would be not to recreate something which is very traditionally out there. Yes, there are certain things that the user is already used to, but those are just fundamentals and not the UI. So you can see the strengths. It doesn't have to be a really long landing. It could just be excerpts or video of all of these things. Something which is short is not time consuming because your actual content is inside the case studies. You're on mute.
Yeah, that's very right. You can also see if you can have an approach where it just gives probably 2-3 seconds of preview of the project. And then possibly they can just click on it, just how you have Netflix experience, right? But over here, instead of thousands of movies, you have just 2 or 3 projects to show and talk about. Because again, over here, the job of this page is to catch attention and not to share everything to everyone. You just need to serve just 20% or the 10% of what is there.
Yeah. Just to mention this, that your website is your hoarding billboard. You stop there. That's his job. And then you deep dive into it. So you don't have all information. It's to basically catch attention and retain. And create enough interest that you want to deep dive. So what are those elements? And you have all the things going for you. Is this how you put it?
Yeah.